Alright, gonna do a few more chess problems. This one I haven't seen it before, but I recognize the pattern. If we do sack the queen check, and then knight and bishop double check, the king has to just come back, and then knight here is a classic knight and bishop checkmate. I should work on giving the annotations better. So let's look at knight g3 check first, and then bishop g2 double checking him. He's got to take the bishop, then queen g3 check, and he has to come back queen h1 and then queen h3 checkmate. That looks right. So let's check our analysis. Queen g3 check. He has no option but to play h takes g, and then bishop h2 discovery double check. He has no option but to play king takes g2, and then we play queen takes g3 check, king h1, and then queen h3 checkmate. I missed that move, but he's still checkmated. See, I thought he'd come here and then we'd checkmate him on h3. So I did miss king f1 for some reason, but we still have the mate. Maybe I just assumed he wouldn't go there because he'd get mated. Alright, we'll keep working on giving the annotations. What am I looking at here? Rook takes f8 certainly looks tempting, because he has to play king takes f8, and then we have queen f2 check, or queen to a8 check. Queen a8 check is tough because he can't block with the rook on c8. We just take it. So he has to play king e7, and then we just mate him on e8, because this pawn covers our knight and f3 square. So that looks correct. Yeah, he interposes anyway, but then we just mate him on e8. Okay, these can be pretty tricky. So what's the idea? We want the king here, his king on a1, his pawn on a2, and our knight on b3, giving the checkmate, ideally. That's the only way it's going to happen, right? So our knight can get to b3 in 2 moves. So first we need to cut him off from b3. We could do that with the knight or the king to c2. So one of those is our first move. Let's look at king c2, then king a1. I think we need to at some point stop the king from having the option of playing a2. So we need the knight on maybe c1, and then he has to push his pawn to a2, and then we mate him on b3. That's quite a lot of work. But whatever it is, we have to stop him from getting to b1 or b3. So king c2 looks like the obvious starter, so let's go with that. Okay, that's correct. Now our idea is to get the knight to, let's see, is there any other square but c1 for this? No, I don't think so. Because on c1 he covers a2 and he's ready to jump to b3. So let's get this knight to c1, and that's, I guess this would work via knight c5, knight b3. So if we play knight c5 and he tries to push the pawn to stalemate himself, we just play knight b3 and he's checkmated. he has to bring the king back to a2. Now, knight comes to b3, king comes to a1, knight to c1. Finally, he has to push that pawn, and then knight to b3 checkmate. So that's just, he just goes there. Oh, frick. I stalemated him. Okay, so the correct path was knight d3, knight c1, and then knight. Yeah, you gotta slow down in between the moves and just keep checking your analysis, because no matter how sure you are when you start a variation, you could always be wrong. So knight b3 finally. So I was right, except for that, just that one oversight, and the game stalemated. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Let's see, just one more for this session. It's a classic bishop sacrifice. Bishop takes h2. Then the knight g4 check works because he can't take it with the bishop, because then we play just queen takes e1 checkmate in 2 moves. So I think it's good, except after knight g4 check and the king has a lot of options. He can come up to g3. So something simpler like bishop takes d3 might be good. I'm not really sure. Does he have this in-between move at any point too? Rook takes a8. A lot of stuff here for white. Perhaps we should take that first. Rook takes a1 first, because that just eliminates a lot of our problems. He can't take with the rook. He has to play queen takes. Now we just play bishop takes d3, and it looks like we're winning the piece, doesn't it? What can he do? You could try to get this knight somewhere. You could play. It's got to be rook takes a1. For many reasons, it looks good. Oops. Okay, and he takes, correct. And now bishop takes d3. That seems like the winner, but it's always possible to be wrong here. Let's see. Bishop takes knight. Interpose really does nothing. We just take back with the knight and we're fine. Yeah, this is good. He takes. That's interesting, because we don't mate him. So I guess he's thinking it's better to lose the exchange than just the piece. Okay, because we can bring the bishop back, and he's just lost the exchange really. But it's good enough. Okay, thanks for watching.